Hello there, Vanagon Addicts. It's Ken Wilford here at Vanagon. I wanted to come to you guys today and have a short live stream and talk about some things that's been on my mind for a few weeks. So if you guys are visiting with us today, please go ahead and say hi in the chat. I can see you that way, and I'll recognize you guys. I appreciate you guys. If anybody comes out here today, if nobody comes out, I'll just talk about stuff I want to talk about, and we can be done. So, anyway, I hope you guys are having a great summer. We've been having a great summer here. We've been really busy, getting a lot of parts out the door, sold. One of the things with us, if you guys aren't familiar, is we try to get parts from all over the world, source them, and then they're going out. And when people order them, we try to get them out immediately. Usually if we have something, can't get something, or we have to get it from Europe, it might take us a week to get it and send it out to you. But we're not super delayed. Okay, so I know other websites you go to, they're going to say, hey, we're 2 weeks away from sending stuff, and that kind of thing. So we're not like that. Okay, when somebody calls me and they say I need this item, I immediately order it for them, and about a week later it comes in from Europe and we send it right out. So if you're looking for something, you're on a trip, you're looking for something, you need it right away, try Vanagon, because we definitely pride ourselves in getting parts, having stuff here on the shelf, getting parts out quickly to you guys so you can continue your journeys and things. We had a customer in Alaska that was broken down, needing a distributor. I just had sold the last one. I had to order some more, got them in and sent them out overnight for them. And so the time factor is important to me. I like getting stuff. I like getting the correct items. I like getting it relatively quickly. We're all spoiled with the internet, but it's not only just that. I mean, it's possible to do that in our day, so why not do it? And so when I order from another store and it's taking like weeks and weeks for them to do a drop ship, it just gets on my nerves, okay? So we're not like that, okay? If it's going to be delayed, I usually email you, let people know ahead of time what's going on. As soon as it's ready, it goes out immediately. We're sending it priority mail usually. We're sending it as fast as we possibly can to try to help you guys out. So, again, if you haven't tried us in the past, please try us. If you're in need, we can send stuff Monday through Friday. We can send stuff express mail. We can send it priority is usually how I like to send it, or even overnight with UPS. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to mention. I have some new parts that we just put in the store. So I wanted to give a shout out to Grant Insco in Atlanta. He's basically doing what I'm doing today, which is not actually doing mechanic work because it is super hot. Okay, it is super hot. We're going to have a heat index here in New Jersey of over 100 degrees today. We're having a big, huge VW show today and tomorrow called Waterfest up in Atco that sadly I'm not going to because it is just ridiculously hot. You're standing out in an open field with no shade. Why would you do that to yourself? So, alright, so let's talk about some of these new items I just got that you guys might be interested in. I know this is an item that other people have had. I just got access to them. Map pockets, okay, for the van. They're black. They actually are OEM Volkswagen. They have the logo and everything, and it says Germany on the inside. Actually, it says West Germany on the inside. So, yep. So they're actually new old stock ones, but they're brand new. And the other nice thing is, whoever's selling them, they have some screws in here for it as well. So if you need a nice map pocket for your van, like I said, they're black. I'm sure people are going to be messaging me saying I need a brown one. I don't know what to tell you. Black one would look perfectly fine and would work perfectly fine, and we do have them. Okay, brown stuff is becoming more and more available as time is going on here, so maybe a brown one will be in the future, but for now, black. Always bet on black. Alright. I heard that from somebody. Alright, so we've got these map pockets. They're in the store. If you want to look them up, you can just put in map pocket or something. It should come up. Another item that I get a lot of requests about, the part number for the map pocket. Let's see, 281-867-133. Okay. Or you can just type map pocket in the little go thing at the top of the screen. It'll bring it up. Another item that people have been contacting me about lately are sliding door handles. Okay, for the Vanagon. So what's going on right now, as far as I know, is they're on worldwide back order, and I bought up a bunch of them to try to make sure that I had some until the back order was over. I think I have about 14 right now. They are really nice, really nice. They are aftermarket, so JP Group, but they're very nice. They come with 2 keys. I guess I'll bust one out here for you since we're on the stream and you can see what it looks like. I mean, at least one person's on here, so it says 4 people are on here, but I only got one person who's actually interacting or whatever with me. That's fine. And so, you know, say this is for these particular handles I got are for like the 80 to 84 vans. They had a little bit longer handle. They're trying to give you some more leverage because I don't know why the early mechanisms just really didn't work that great. So here it is. Okay, you can see it in all its glory. It's brand new. Even has this little blue plastic thing over this. It comes with 2 keys, and the only slightly disappointing thing about these, really, to me, the only disappointing thing about them at all, really, is that they're using another type of key, like probably from like a Jetta or a Golf, something that they could get the lock tumbler, like just grab it off the shelf. You know, because they're making like a bunch of lock tumblers for Jettas and Golfs, and they're making this door handle, and they're like, hey, we don't want to have to make a special tumbler for this. What kind of sense does that make? So they grabbed the Jetta Golf ones. The bad part is you can't get this keyed to your van key. Okay, so that's the way all the aftermarket ones are, as far as I know. You cannot get them keyed to your van. You have to have like this separate key for that after you install this, because the tumbler is different to the point where it can't be interchanged. Okay, so we have about 12 or 14 of these in stock at the moment. If you need some before the end of the summer, because that's when they're supposedly going to be more available, we have some here. The part number is 251-843-704. Okay, boom, nailed it. And I know that some other folks are showing them at a lower price than we are, but the reality is they actually don't have any. So, I mean, I can sell you stuff all the time that I don't have for a cheap price, and you can wait 6 months for it to show up. I mean, that's what happened to me. One point I had a need for something. I went ahead and ordered it from another supplier because I was trying to hurry up and get it. Thankfully I found some more in Europe and grabbed them. But in the meantime, the supplier's like, we're out of stock, you know, do you want it to put on back order? Well, I just never got back to them. It was 6 months later they gave me, hey, guess what? We finally got some of these. I'm like, wow, I'm glad I didn't really need it. Because it took way too long. Alright, now let's move on. I'm starting ranting about that, but, you know, to me, part of the whole parts game is that you're getting stuff that you need when it's actually needful instead of waiting forever. Like, I understand that prices are cheap, but if you have to wait and wait and wait and wait until you don't really actually care anymore, what is the actual point? Alright, so moving on. Stop ranting at that. We have got brand new, and they're slightly bent, but I think they're fixable. They got bent chipping just a little bit, but brand new sun visors. Okay, for the Vanagon. Look at this, brand new these pieces. Okay, so these are JP Group. They're aftermarket sun visors. They're white in color. Okay, Scott, welcome out. the 83, that handle I just showed, that would be new. So these sun visors, okay, as far as I know, they will work on any Vanagon. The thing that goes bad on these usually are these little plastic mounts here. They'll break apart, and then your sun visor is basically worthless. Or the sun visor itself gets kind of dirty and nasty over time. So these are brand new. They're white. The only downside to them is that they do not have a mirror on the passenger side. So, you know, when your lady friend is riding with you and she has to, like, do her makeup things, she's going to have to just have her own mirror in a little compact or something. I don't really think it's really that big of a deal. Okay, so to not have a mirror. Plus, you don't have to worry about wire. Like the other mirror had like a light, and you had to do some wiring. Just unplug that, pop these new ones in, and you're good to go. Alright, so Scott Smith is asking some questions. Okay, I will probably answer your question in just a couple minutes after we get done looking at some of these parts that we're doing. So these sun visors, they're in the store again. Part number should be 251-848-550. Okay. Yep. And it should work on anything, any of the van years. Okay. They're listing it out for 80 to 92, so I'm assuming they're telling what's right. We also have a lot of kits available that we've been selling, but I just wanted to bring some attention to them. So we have these wheel bearing kits. Okay, these are front wheel bearing kits. This is made by JP Group. It's got like all the wheel bearings in here, the 2 bearings that you need, plus a seal and a new nut. Okay, everything you need in a kit form. Okay, so we have them on the site as well. Part number should be 251-498-625A. I highly recommend these if you're doing front wheel work and stuff like that. You would definitely want them. So there you go. Okay, front wheel bearings. Now, also, but the new thing that we just got is some rear wheel bearing kits. Okay, so when I bought these, they were supposed to be like OEM, I thought. That's what the pictures were showing. But when I got them, they're not. Okay, so we've got a Japanese-made bearing, Koyo, and we've got a Phoebe bearing, which says made in Germany on it. Okay, so you should be good shape with these. Okay, we've got the rear wheel bearing kits as well on the website. The 2 bearings, okay, plus, and that fell over. You need 2 seals, got them. Okay, these are, I'm not sure, ASA. I've never heard of that company before, but I'm sure they're German. And look what else we got. Oh, the spacers. What? Yes. Okay, so we have the spacers coming with this kit. We have a new clip and a new cotter pin. So basically all the things you're going to need to do your rear wheel bearings. I've never actually replaced the spacers before, but I saw these kits. I thought, hey, let's grab them. Let's, let people see what they think. Okay, so rear wheel bearings, again, is something that you're going to want to, to deal with at some point. They last a long time, but they don't last forever. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to deal with that at some point. Alright, what else do we have? I also have, let's see, I got a knife here. Don't ever buy an overalls that you can't reach through into your pocket, because that is a big mistake. Alright, and it's already in the outside pocket. Alright, let me go grab it. Alright, we also got something I've never had really seen before, but I always try to grab things that I think people are going to want in the future. So, we have gotten in the past new flywheels for the diesel Vanagon, but I had never seen a new flywheel for the water boxer until now. Okay, so we have brand new water boxer flywheels. Again, it's made by JP Group. It comes with the dowel pins in it. Okay, and it's basically ready to go. So if you need a new flywheel, I think they're on the website, $199. Okay, and so you should be good shape on that. Again, you could just type the word flywheel into the go box at the top. That will bring it up, believe me. Alright, and then one last item that I have here before we move on to news things and question things, is this item right here. Okay, so brake booster. Okay, brake booster for all your Vanagons. Okay, all the Vanagons had power brakes. What happened about a year ago is that all the brake boosters in the universe decided to go away and evaporate. So I had kind of given up hope on getting new ones. Then I saw this one on my supplier's inventory, and I grabbed it real fast, quick. It's on the website for sale. It's not cheap. But if you think you might need a booster in the next 5 years or something, you're going to keep your van long term, I would encourage you to buy this, because once these are gone, you're going to have to get a rebuilt one. And I don't know how great that they actually are. I mean, people were dealing with rebuilt ones on the buses for years and years and years before new aftermarket new ones came out. And now everybody just does new aftermarket ones. Why? Because the rebuilt ones, you know, I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. But they're not as good as a new part. And then this is actually an OEM, you know, ATE part. Which ATE is like the original manufacturer for Volkswagen. Again, I was looking into this whole thing where people were putting in BMW ones and saying how wonderful and fantastic that was, but I couldn't find a source for new ones of those. So that's all the new stuff that I've kind of been excited about. I have some really small, tiny little items in this web store too that are new. Like we have some little pull things for the front doors and little collars around it. I mean, these things are so small, it's hard to even show them on video because they're just microscopic. Alright, so that's all of our kind of parts news that we have right now. Let me talk to questions here. Scott says, I don't know to get it running, okay, or sell it or restore it. Then he says, glad it's not an RV. Them things have 25 little locks and handles. Imagine keeping all those locks to the same key. Yeah, I have an RV, a 35-foot bounder, and there's always something to do on it. It's worse than a Vanagon. If you worked on it every single day of the year, there would always be something else. It's almost like a boat. You're constantly fixing stuff. So, Scott, I would say definitely if you want to sell your van and get any money whatsoever for it, having it get running versus dead in the water is definitely the way to go. Okay, running and driving. Because here's what happens. You go to try to sell it, you put it up on the Samba, you put it up on eBay or wherever, and people are going to say, hey, I want to come and pick it up and drive it to California or drive it to Colorado or drive it to Chicago or anything. Okay? And you say, well, it can't do that. It doesn't even run. Okay? Say, okay, well, I want to get a transporter, come get it, and transport it to me in, you know, XYZ. The problem is they only require you, or they charge a lot of extra money if it doesn't run. Okay, so you want it to run, is what I'm trying to say. You want it to be running and at least roll on, roll off condition, so it could run enough to get onto a transport vehicle, off of a transport vehicle, brakes work. That's like your bare minimum to get any money for it whatsoever. If you want it to get decent money for it, you want it to be able to drive reliably, and you can. The money is exponentially more. So if you got a piece of junk, trash, garbage that doesn't run, and you don't know anything about it, you know, I've bought them for hundreds of dollars because you don't know what you're getting. It's a big risk. If you have something that runs and drives, you're getting thousands of dollars. It's definitely worth it. Okay, it's definitely worth it. So that's my opinion on that. All right, let's move on. So I've got a lot of news things I want to talk about because there's been so much news going on. So let me switch to the desktop thing so you guys can see what's happening. The first thing I want to talk about is the thing that we've seen a lot of press about. Bye Beetle. Okay. The Volkswagen Beetle is rolling off the assembly line, the last one. It's kind of a misnomer in a way, because if you look at this picture here on the site, you can kind of see the reality of it. 1997 to 2019. Okay, so that's what's really going on. Okay, I mean, of course, it makes a way better news story for whatever news website you have to say, oh, it's, the Beetle's been in production for, 70 years and now it's just now going out of production. But the reality is, I mean, this Beetle is nothing at all like the original one. It has a similar shape to it, and that's pretty much it. Okay? The funny part is I've never actually owned a Type 1, okay, which is what you would call an actual Beetle, an air-cooled Beetle. I have owned almost everything else in the Vanagon world. I've owned buses, I've owned squarebacks, I've owned, that's considered a Type 3. We've owned all kinds of Jettas, Golfs, Rabbits, Caddy, which is a Rabbit pickup truck, Vanagons, Eurovans, you name it. Okay. Right now, one of my daughters has a 2001 new Beetle. Okay. And my other daughter has a 2003 Jetta station wagon. So I'm familiar with, the air-cooled stuff. I'm also familiar with the water-cooled stuff, and that kind of thing. So Scott is saying greetings from New Mexico. So anyway, so the new Beetle is going bye-byes. To me, it's kind of stupid. I mean, I'm not in charge of Volkswagen, but to me, this is like the most dumbest timing I can possibly imagine for this. But also, you have to think about the history of it. So, the original Beetle started out back, of course, as a propaganda tool for Hitler back before World War II. Okay. You can see some more pictures while we're talking. And it was something where normal Germans, could get a people's car for themselves and be able to, have an affordable vehicle. I don't know if you know, a lot of people don't know about this, but in the office of Adolf Hitler, there was a picture of an American industrialist, Henry Ford. Okay. Henry Ford was a hero of Adolf Hitler because of what he had done to give the masses their personalized transportation. He wanted to do the same thing in Germany, so the Beetle was part of that. Okay, or what they would call the KDF wagon, which wound up becoming the Beetle. Now, some people are going to correct me on all this stuff. Go for it. I don't actually care, but I'm giving you like a general overview. So, after the war, the British came in to Wolfsburg. They wanted to reinvigorate the economy, and they started having them repair Jeeps at the factory. They did such a great job. They had tons and tons of things ready to make the KDF wagon, and they said, hey, let's see about making these cars. This might be something that could happen. So, of course, they made those, and the rest is history. That's why we're here, because of the Beetle success. Okay. And, that ended, actually, that went all the way up here in the U.S. It stopped in the early 80s. They had some Beetle convertibles that were made, I think, all the way up to like 1982, 1983. Then they moved the production into Mexico. That went all the way up until 2003. Okay, so these Type 1s were still made all the way up to 2003. But by that time, this other version, this is the second generation, of Beetle was also being made there. Okay, the new Beetle, and that was made since 1997 all the way up until this year, the final version of that. Okay, I think they switched to a second generation new Beetle in 2012. Okay, which is a nice version. My daughter's boyfriend actually owns one of those. Okay, so you know, it's sad to me that it's going away. If it goes away to come back, which it seems like it always has done that in the past, it goes away for a short time, goes out of the public's thing. Like here in the U.S., we couldn't get any type of Beetle whatsoever from like early 80s to 1997. Okay, so that was about, what, 10 years or maybe 12 years or something like that. And then when it came back, it was really, really popular again. So, you know, that could be what's going on. They're going to take it away so we can bring it back new and improved. To me, the shameful part is that we're getting ready to, you know, go into these new electric versions, electric vehicles. And I'm going to go to this next site here again. Okay, so we're going into Volkswagen's latest media blitz, which is these ID vehicles, okay, which is supposed to be electrical powered vehicles. To me, having an electric powered rear engine Beetle or Bug would be amazing, but apparently it's not in the cards. They are getting rid of the Beetle, and we get this thing instead. The ID Buzz, the ID Cross, and the ID Vivian. Okay. So here's my biggest problem I have with this line. Okay, is the names. The names are dumb. All right, let me just say it right now. The names are dumb. Okay, the names are stupid. So at the bottom of each one of these pages, it says concept vehicle shown, not available for sale. Specifications may change. Okay, one of the specifications I pray to heaven changes are the dumb, stupid names. Okay, the dumb, stupid names. Okay. All right, good seeing Steve is on here. Steve DeRuiter, he's just saying hi. The dumb, stupid names. Okay, ID is fine. I mean, we're trying to get a new line. Volkswagen's always tried to do that. They always had, you know, different things like in the olden days, Type 1, 2, 3, all that stuff. That's fine. The newer stuff, we had Marks, Mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know where we're at now. Mark 6 million. They're trying to get off of that bandwagon. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. And so it could be ID. That's fine. Okay, but make the other parts make more sense, and not be so much Z's. Okay, like for this example. Okay, why can't we call this the new bus? The ID new bus. Is that that hard? Okay, I wouldn't think so. So let's call it that. Okay, the ID Vision. Let's call it something else. Let's call it the ID, you know, Mark 1. Or the ID Sedan. And then this thing, the ID Cross thing, this is the ID SUV. Okay, or the ID whatever. Okay, the ID Off-Road. I don't know, anything but this. Why this? I know it means cross, like a cross, whatever thing. Yeah, the names are stupid. Get rid of the Z things. Even their super awesome, you know, fast electric sports car, the ID. It blew away Pikes Peak last year. It's amazing. They built it in record time. We talked about it on the channel before. It's called the IDR. Why? In English, that sounds dumb. It's like IDEAR. And all these names sound dumb in English. Okay? So, please, if you want to call these retarded names, Europe, fine, I don't care. USA, make it better. Okay? Believe me, you're not going to sell. I'm not going to go buy a Vision because I don't want people to make fun of me because my car has a dumb name. And even this right here, right? Spoiler alert, everyone's going to call it a bus. Spoiler alert. Okay? So why call it this in the first place? Why not just call it what it actually is instead of calling it something with Z's in it? Okay, please. Okay. Alright, so that rant is over now. I'm going to move on. So we have our last video. We had that. And then also, okay, we have this. Ford and Volkswagen's truck and EV tie-up is part of a major collaboration. Okay. Ford and Volkswagen are going to be teaming up to build trucks together. and possibly also vans, and all this stuff is really super vague. Okay, so it's so vague that I really have no clue. I read this entire article about what's supposed to be happening, and they give you some general things, but nothing super specific. But the biggest thing is supposedly Volkswagen and Ford are teaming up to kind of like help each other develop what they call this MEB platform, which is going to be their platform for their electric and autonomous vehicles. I'm not really sure what Volkswagen's getting out of this, to be honest with you. I mean, Volkswagen right now is the world's biggest automaker. The only thing I can think of is it's some kind of a tax situation, like a tariff workaround. But yeah. But I don't understand the attraction for Volkswagen besides like some kind of tax thing or tariff thing where they're like, oh, we're working with an American company, so no tariffs or something for us. But anyway, I mean, like I said, Volkswagen is the #1 car manufacturer in the world now. Ford is like, I don't know, number lot lower, maybe weirdly far down there. Okay, I mean, it's probably at least like 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that. So it's like somebody like the #1 draft pick in the NFL deciding instead of going with like the best team, they're gonna go with the team that's in like 8th place or something to be on that team because reasons. Okay, so anyway, this is something that's so it's in the pipeline. Maybe, possibly could happen. In the past, when Volkswagen has worked with other car companies, it's never really turned out that great, to be honest. There's been a time in the past where Volkswagen worked with pretty much everyone you can imagine to build some kind of like, the latest example would be the VW Routan, right? The minivan that was basically a Chrysler Town & Country with a Volkswagen logo on it. And that turned out great. That turned out amazing. Okay? I'm being super sarcastic. It was basically as horrible as you imagine it to be. I mean, I can go out and buy a Routan now. I've seen them for sale for like $6,000, $7,000. I mean, that's actually less than my Vanagon is worth. And this is like a 2008 or something, or 9 vehicle. And they're basically worth as much as a Chrysler Minivan, used Chrysler Minivan would be worth, which ain't a whole lot. Okay? So, yeah, do I have hopes that this is something good's gonna come out of this? No, not really. The only thing that's going to happen is these two are going to get married, then they're going to have like a little short honeymoon, and then they're going to like figure out they hate each other, and then they're going to get divorced, and it's going to be ugly. And we're going to be stuck with these kids from this marriage that nobody wants. Okay? So, there you go. That's that whole story in a nutshell. Now, let's keep going. But I did have something super exciting that I saw this week that you guys might get excited about. I was excited about this. This is exciting to me because this actually is happening as far as I know. This is not, pie in the sky, which anything with Volkswagen right now, corporate, is complete and utter pie in all of the skies. Okay? All of the skies. Now this is not. This is an American company. Okay? They are called Classic Steel Body. And they have decided, in a totally American way, have seen a need for bodies for Volkswagen split window bus. And they are moving to fill that need by building brand new steel bodies for these buses. You can see this one in the picture is a 21 window. And you can buy these bodies for around $15,000. Okay? You can actually get them even put together a little bit more than this one is. You can kind of see it's got the dash, but the whole nose isn't on there. I'm not quite sure why anybody would want it in that condition. But you can get the nose put on. You can get, I guess, these back sections put on as much as you want, and the price is going to go up. But this is exciting to me. Okay, this is exciting to me because, you see a lot of these buses now. I mean, #1, they're getting harder and harder to find. Then on top of that, I mean, the prices for completely garbage carcass ones have been going through the roof. Okay, and once you're all said and done, I mean, you just got this big patchwork, quilt of stuffing things going on, of repairs and things. Why not just start over? So that's what this does. It lets you start over with a brand new body. You can take all your running gear and all your other stuff off, or the other thing that is exciting to me is if you would just do something completely different. Okay, it's kind of like reminds me of that whole Monty Python thing. Like, now for something completely different. Like, what if you could get this body and then put like an electric drivetrain on it, right? And some kind of updated suspension, so that this car now is kind of a hybrid between, a bus, which everybody thinks they want until they drive it for 2 minutes, and something that's actually like cool and fun to drive. I mean, amazing. That would be amazing. Okay, so this was very exciting to me. Another thing you guys might not know about is that here in the U.S. they passed like a law a few years ago through Congress about the ability to remake old vehicles. So you can remake a vehicle. I think it has to be at least 25 years old. You can basically remake it. You have to make it as it was at the time, and you're not bound by current emissions testing and that kind of thing. This passed several years ago. Sadly, of course, typical Congress, they haven't actually finished building the rules for it yet, so nobody can actually do it yet. But once it's available, once that's all done, I mean, I see people possibly maybe a niche company buying a bunch of these shells and making up their own brand new buses that are completely new. And also other people modifying them, turning them into electric powered or any kind of other powered. It seems like a really cool idea to me. So, right now they're taking $1,000 deposits. Okay, they're saying that their production is going to start in the fall, and their first delivery is in late 2019, early 2020. If you have a bunch of money sitting around that you don't know what to do with, and I would think it might be a smart idea to put down the $1,000 deposit, and then by the time these things get done and they start coming out, if they're decent, you could probably sell your deposit to somebody else for $2,000. I mean, this is what I was thinking, was put down a $1,000 deposit, and people are going to be desperate, man. When these things come out, they're going to be fighting over this. I mean, here's what I would say is 64 to 67 bus, right? So get one of them, 21 window, order that, $1,000 deposit. By the time they all start getting delivered, you just put up on the SOM or some forum, I have the, the deposit or whatever, the reservation for this body shell. I will sell it for $2,000, and guess what? You just made $1,000 for doing nothing. Okay, for having $1,000 tied up for a short time. I mean, who can't afford that? Just put it on a stinking credit card or something, and you can double your money. That's what I think. But it's up to you. Do it at your own risk. But I think it's not really that risky at all. Oh, and here's the other thing: that not just this body, the 21 window, of course, but you can also get single cab. Okay, so they're also doing the single cab as well, and I think the single cab is even a little bit cheaper. It's kind of cool. So yeah, I think single cab, the regular one is 17, the single cab is 15. Now what they're saying is in order to be 50 state legal, it's got to you basically have to buy a garbage one. Pull all the VINs and stuff off of it, put it onto this, and then it's kind of like you're restoring a bus. But also there's rules out there about kits and things. So I'm thinking people are gonna just go to town with this stuff. I mean, we've got reproduction doors for this car. We've got reproduction pretty much everything that's not on this frame. You can get reproduction. So why not? Okay, make a brand new thing, and you can like put modern like anti-rust stuff and things on it. You can put modern undercoating on it. You can, you know, really try to keep it from going the same way the old ones did. I mean, the old ones were basically considered disposable vehicles, so and they were very cheap, and they were cheaply made. So, you know, that's why they're so much rusted out, and they were basically used up back in the day. So I mean, you have something brand new, you can kind of do what you want. You want to, you know, put a bunch of sound deadening in it, that kind of stuff to make it modern. Like I said, make a nicer engine, make a nicer transmission, drivetrain for it, and it's just like a blank slate to me. Okay, I think it would be pretty sweet to see what some creative people can do with this brand new body. Alright, so let me go back here and we'll get back to looking at me again. That's the part you love so much. Alright, so I guess that's all my rambles for today, guys. You know, I showed you some new parts we have. Of course, we have everything else that you could possibly imagine. People ask me all the time, like, oh, I need some parts for my Vanagon. Do you have them? Like, yes, we have everything. Okay, if we don't have it, we can get it. Okay, and people challenge me all the time with parts, like, oh, I need this little this, I need this little that. I'm like, I got it. They're like, oh, what? Oh, yes. Okay, because that's part of our thing. I have a sickness, right? It's called I love Vanagons and buses, and so we feed the sickness. Okay, we feed the sickness. And so, you know, that benefits you guys. I mean, I'm always scouring the world looking for these parts, looking for things. I'm thinking about the upcoming year, making a trip and going to Europe and visiting suppliers, and just sitting down with them and saying, hey, we want this and this and this, and just have get a lot. We need a lot of them. I mean, right now we're the only people in the U.S. that is supplying this one particular part for Eurovans, and we did pretty good with that, you know, because we're the only ones that are doing it. Why isn't anybody else doing it? I have no idea. Was it super hard for me to get these? Nope. It's because I actually care about keeping these vehicles on the road. Okay, and it's my primary goal. You know, a lot of the other shops, they have other things going on besides Vanagons and buses and Eurovans. We don't. So that's our primary mission. We can focus on it, and we can get stuff done. Okay, so yeah, that's my word for you guys. So as you're watching our videos, we kind of got to a little point on the last car where it's pretty much done. We did a bunch of videos on restoring our Vanagon Karat. If you haven't had a chance to look at them, I would look at them. We got down to the last little thing of repairing like a little small hole in the body, and it's just gotten stupid hot here. I haven't had a chance to get back on that. So, you know, we will get back on it and finish it completely and get it up for sale or get using it or whatever. I want to do a couple more mods on it, like I'm going to put on the H4 headlights on it, and I'm also going to be putting on a backup camera that we sell and some stuff like that. So, you know, stay tuned on that. We're going to be basically just putting the icing on the cake on that Karat videos. And then we're going to be starting a new project, which is another Karat that I bought that has a Bostic engine in it already, but the air conditioning system is... Okay, so we're going to be restoring that, putting that back online as well, and getting that done. So I see Chris Snyder on here. Good to see Chris. And Scott keeps talking. He said he had 2 Baja bugs back when. Okay. So, you know, we're gonna move on to our next project. You guys have been great. Okay, one of the great things you guys can do, besides, you know, getting parts from us, supporting us that way, you can like, share, and subscribe on our videos. When you like on the videos, it pushes them up in the rankings so that more people see them. The more people see them, it benefits us. Okay, and all it costs you is pushing on the like button when you watch a video. That's costs you nothing. Okay, so please do that. Like, share, subscribe. We also have a Patreon account. I only have 3 people that are on that right now: Chris Snyder, Peter Benici, and Eric Schneider. I definitely appreciate them. and right now we're getting a whopping $15 a month through that. But our regular money that we've been making through the channel is going up because we've got a lot more views. And again, our exposure in general. You know, I've been getting less and less calls of, hey, where have you been all my life, from Vanagon owners. In a way that's good because we've been here 20 years. We want people to know about us. Some people are still finding out. A lot of it's geographical. I mean, if I lived in California or Colorado, or Washington State, and I needed parts, and there was a parts place right there that was in, like, you know, a day's shipping from me, that's where I would get all my stuff from. And there are perfectly good places out there that are like that. Why would you look around more? I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But, you know, with YouTube, it's letting us to, you know, expand our focus, what people are seeing. And so we appreciate that. We appreciate all you guys. You're great fans. Vanagon Addicts. We thank you guys for your support. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. You know, it's not a really great weekend to camp here in the Northeast. Or even to the south because it's so hot. I would say be careful out there, guys. Stay where it's nice and cool, you know, and wait for some nicer weather to enjoy your vans. If you have any questions or things you want us to cover on our next video, we will be glad to do that. Just put them in the comments of this one, and I guess that's it. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for coming out today and joining us on our live